G'day Tiger fans and welcome to Richmond's official podcast Talking Tigers. On today's show we talk about the young players that we saw on Saturday night via the Western Bulldogs. It was great to see some youngsters out there having an impact. We're going to let you know, Greenish, you're going to love this, about the Chief's new passion. He is absolutely all over this new hobby that he has. You're actually, Greenish, you're going to unveil some details about our upcoming trip to the Rio Olympics. I can't wait to hear that. I think you've got a really big announcement there. And we cannot wait to get over there. Plus all our regular segments. And, boys, I'll tell you what, I nailed my yellow and blacker again last week. Please. And I can't wait to remind everyone about that again. But how are we, JB, Greeners?
Yeah, not too bad. Considering how bleak it is outside. It's terrible, it's been a very cold, the coldest, bleakest, wettest winter I can remember.
Illness I can't kick, like everybody else in here. It's just hanging around.
Struggling.
Everyone's had it like a flu for a month.
Yeah, not good.
Anyway. Push through.
Hey, that song there was John Bon Jovi.
Was it?
And do you know the link? Can you get the link?
No.
I don't think you can.
Blades of Glory. That's good.
No,
good
Blaze
movie.
of Glory.
Oh, Blaze of Glory. Sorry, I thought it was the Will Ferrell movie, which is fantastic.
You know.
It's related
what is
to
it?
Coach Bombay in his earlier life, Emilio Estevez.
Yes. And it's from Young Guns 2 soundtrack.
Not to be confused with Hot Shots 2.
Or Kung Fu Panda 3. Sorry.
So there, that's Young Guns, and obviously in honour of
Young Guns,
our young Tigers that played on Saturday night.
Yes.
Get involved if you want with the show. # Talking Tigers. Give us a call for the quiz. Coming up in a few minutes, 9426 4423. But really, it has been all about the young players that played at Saturday night.
Notwithstanding, obviously, the disappointment not to win the game.
Of course.
Yeah, but. Geez, it was good. It was so good to see those kids, you know, the energy and enthusiasm they brought.
And they had a real impact, JB, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly right. And it was great to see them not overawed, especially Oleg in his first game by the occasion, and Georgie Costanza just putting in another fantastic performance in his third game. But even guys like Jaden Short, who'd played throughout the season, stepping up again. So it just
Connor Menadue.
Yeah, exactly.
McBain kicked a goal. Could have kicked too.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and just the good thing about those kids, they obviously they're quick. They take the game on.
Geez, Markov's quick.
He's really quick. But
quick.
They use the ball well too. Yeah. You know, a couple of the all of them, but Menadue in particular. You know. Couple of out the back, good kicks that just found teammates near goal was really, really impressive. But
and you get game time into them. Look at Menadue's really starting to come on because you know he kept getting games when he maybe at times he may have dropped back, but they kept getting game time into him.
Yeah, no,
and you know he's really starting to have an impact now.
Yeah,
I think when we speak to Manfred a bit later on in the show with his Hall of Notes inspired intro, we might just ask him about a few of the other players that we might see later in the year, which is just going to generate more excitement, I believe.
But Oleg Markov, he just, in fact, look, I might have been the number he's wearing, but he reminded me a bit of the late Woosha Welsh.
Yeah, it might have been the number.
Yeah, I think a little bit. But no, but just the way he moved. Like, Woosha was a very quick player too. And just the way he sort of skip away and that, a couple of times he did that, I thought, geez, I don't reckon it was the number 2. But
did we talk to him for Raw Vision after the game, did we?
We did, but he's a different unit. He has got cult figure written all over him, and there's a really good. He has, but there's a really good video up on Raw Vision video up on the website at the moment, and a couple of his teammates have spoken about he's a bit of a different unit.
Yeah.
So one thing you might not know about Oleg is from his hometown in Belarus, it was very much like the Spartans. When you reach a certain age, you get let to go in the wilderness, just with a spear and a loincloth, and you have to last for 6 months.
There's this moustache, he looks like Oddlaw of Where's Wally? He's built a motorbike from scrap metal from a yard and actually got it roadworthy.
I don't know how it was registered or even if it was registered, but he drove it around for a while. No exhaust, so you could hear him coming from about 5 or 6
coming back to buy this joint tomorrow and you're out!
There's our weekly.
He's missed it again.
Yeah, no, he's missed
There's our weekly visit from Jack Rewalt, where he comes in with some real crisp humour.
Crisp humour. Yeah, no, very, very
Every
crisp.
time we're doing a pre-record,
he just doesn't quite time it right.
No, poor timing. Very, very, very poor timing. Anyway, but look, and as excited as I was, and with the performance of those kids, it was great. And so then I tuned into your radio station the next day, 3RW, Sunday afternoon, hoping to hoping to hear you chat about the young players and what they showed and a bit of excitement and everything.
Well, we did, didn't we?
No, all I got was you talking about yourself back in the day, about how you nearly finished up at Carlton, how you had scones baked by Mrs. Pagan, how Dennis Pagan just kept pumping you up, what a great player you were. We're going to give you the entire forward 50. Don't worry, we'll reinvent Pagan's paddock with you. Don't worry about the duck, it's going to be Richo in, Wayne Carey out. All you did
was when he was at Carlton, so you've got that wrong for a start.
No. Well, but it was the version of Pagan's paddock with him at Carlton that you were going to do, right?
Yeah, it wasn't my fault. They asked me a question.
It was sickening. You were so self-absorbed. Nothing about the current day young Tigers. It was all about me.
It was a bit about me, but they asked about me because.
How come you never told that story on TT?
I don't know. I think I have before.
Well, it was an old
I didn't really want to admit that.
Made the front page of the Herald Sun as well.
I didn't really want to admit that I'd spoken to Carlton, did I?
Anyway,
that was on the back of Lynn John going to visit the Westpac Centre, and they asked myself if I ever went and talked to another club, so I told the truth, Tony.
Well, did you have to tell the truth over 48 minutes?
No, I didn't.
Why did it go for so long?
I went on a bit. Hey, listen, let's get off me and get on to Rio. What have you got to announce for our outside broadcast over there?
Well, I'm confirming that we're going for a start.
Is that 100%?
The chief has agreed. The Chief's agreed. We've got the tickets. We're ready to go.
Economy or business?
We're still haggling over that.
Negotiating, are we?
We're still negotiating.
So where are we going to be?
We're doing an OB, 2 OBs, right, from Ipanema Beach.
Oh, you've secured a site, a live site,
yep.
And a big guest. Can you announce it yet?
I can't. All I say is this will absolutely
is it Adriana Lima?
Knock your socks off.
Is it Adriana?
I can't say. I can't say.
Or is it Romario?
It is. No comment. I can't say. But it will knock everyone's socks off. This will be massive. The biggest thing we've ever done.
Really?
Right. It is just huge. And I can't wait. And I am beside myself.
We might even take young Matt over.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be in seventh heaven.
Hey, before we move on, we're going to do the quiz in a minute.
It's huge. I can't
All right.
stress how big this is.
Oh, it's going to be big. Hey, we got to mention that Sam Edmund last week, you weren't happy with him.
I don't think none of us here were happy with him.
No, it wasn't great, but he
to his
talked
credit,
about Richmond being a stink hole.
Right.
He's actually
to his credit, he went on the Super Footy podcast yesterday, and he apologised.
Oh,
so well done to him for that.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Hey, there we go.
Precursor.
I was just going to say something else, but let's get into the quiz.
Well, seeing everything's about you, right? Because it's always about you on this show and 3AW and everything else. The quiz question revolves around you this week, but also around, given that we're playing Essendon, and it's an Essendon flavour. I want to know the former Essendon player who wore number 12 at Richmond before you did.
Right.
So you took...
Was he at Essendon before or after Richmond?
Before.
No, before. So he played at Essendon, came to Richmond, wore number 12.
Yeah.
Right, and then you took it over from him.
So give us a call, 9426 4423. Who wore number 12 before I did?
Yes.
In the early 90s and played at Essendon as well.
Yep, correct.
Give us a call.
It's a very good question this week, Grant.
Good. I'm glad you like it.
I like it.
Excellent.
A few tweets came in.
Really?
Out of the weekends.
Yeah.
They're all revolving around the young players, I reckon.
Pretty much, Richo.
Yeah.
So Colin, our man the tail, Ash Rodriguez, all wanted to mention and pump up the kids out of the game. So we've spoken about that already. And Ryan Kirkpatrick, hashtag Talking Tigers, I believe, might be a new interactor with us. He's said he loved the injection of youth and speed on the weekend, added some X factor and dare into the game plan. And he is excited for the future. And being there on Saturday night, you could certainly sense that.
Now, I've said this before, right? And I've said this, I think, early in the year, that we could be that much closer to our next era of sustained success, hopefully a premiership.
By going back.
By doing this at the end of this year.
I sort of agree.
Notwithstanding the fact that obviously the win-loss ratio is going to be nowhere near what it's been the last 3 years. But we could be that much closer because of looking at these kids that can be part of the next era.
They've just got to really go on every game now for the rest of the year.
Yep.
Well, Ash Rodriguez has written that he's pretty excited about getting a high draft pick next year as well. So
could be a top 5 pick, couldn't it?
Well, yeah.
5 or 6.
Yeah, and then I guess it depends then if you actually use it or do you use it as part of a trade. I guess that, time will tell what happens. So,
regardless, it has value, and if you can get
it has value,
a great player with that either way, that's just going to add.
It'd have to be a good player to give up your first round pick, your top 10 pick.
Yeah, true.
Hey?
Yeah, I guess a good point.
I don't like giving up top 10 picks.
Benny Cashin's written in using hashtag Talking Tigers, and this is one pumping you up, Greeners, which we always like.
Yes, of course.
A great article on richmondfc.com.au about Asprey over the weekend. Another positive to come from the year, especially the last couple of weeks.
We were talking about him before the show, that he is back to that form he showed in 2014, first 8 games of that year. He was second in the BNF.
He was outstanding, Dave Asprey. At LC West 11, just noted that it was probably the best pressure he'd seen from Richmond all year. I have to agree.
Yep, no doubt.
You've got to bring that every week, though.
So did we win the contested ball count?
We did.
Yep.
So
it's the first time all year that the Dogs haven't won it.
Yeah. I think they've only lost it once or twice in Beveridge's time. Yeah. So that was a really good effort.
You've got to bring that every week, obviously. Then.
So we've got the 6 wins on the board. Like the one against Sydney obviously stands out as like our best performance of the year, but that would have to come very close, even though it was a loss.
Yeah.
It would have to come close to it, if not first, probably the second best performance.
3 of the top 4 teams on the ladder.
Yep.
So Sydney, the Bulldogs,
Hawthorn,
and I reckon Hawthorn. Our performance against Hawthorn for 3 quarters was, I reckon, they were the 3 best performances.
So
we've
what
had
you're
all
saying
year.
is we can compete against the good teams.
Yeah, we can.
Hey, we've got someone on the line. We better go to Jack from Launceston, down in Tassie. How are you, Jack?
Yeah, good, thanks, guys. It's bloody miserable down here, to be honest today. But
it's not much better here, mate.
Oh, it's not Jack Rewald, is it? I thought it might have been Jack Rewald.
Definitely
not. Oh, okay.
No, Launceston boy.
No, good. No. He's a pest anyway. Now, Jack, I just want to know, right? Name the former Essendon player who came to Richmond and wore number 12 before Richo did.
Was it Andrew Underwood?
Very good. Get.
Yes, Jack.
That's a very good get.
I saw Undies was. I saw him earlier this year somewhere.
You saw Undies?
Yeah, Andrew Underwood.
Yeah.
I saw him in Adelaide, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, he's in Adelaide. Came from
do you
Adelaide,
listen?
So.
Do you listen a bit, Jack?
Yeah, I do actually. This is the first time I've actually listened live too, guys. So I've done well.
Very good, Jack.
Thanks, mate. So give us an email, talkingtigers@richmondfc.com.au. And JB will get the T-shirts out to you. He's been flat out, but he's going to get them out. So thanks very much, mate.
No worries, boys. Thank you.
Good on you, Jack.
Cheers, Jack.
Today's the day.
Is it?
Is it? You're going to do it today?
Yeah.
Good.
It's a good day for it, really.
It is. It's been a tough couple of weeks. Sorry, guys.
No, not at all.
Last week, David Millett written in Dusty again, BOG. He would have to be seriously in Brownlow contention. Well, we spoke about it last week.
Well, in the Herald Sun, he's equal with Danger on 19. And
he's equal third in the coaches' votes.
So he's got to be.
I reckon he's got about 20 votes, roughly.
Would he
very
have got
close
the
to
3
20.
Saturday night? I reckon the
I would
have,
but I'm biased. But he at least got 2.
Yeah, he's at least got 2.
So he's right up there with 7 games to go. So huge chance, I reckon.
Beautiful. Oof, the chief, eh?
What's he up to?
It's been school holidays, hasn't it?
Yeah.
The last few weeks.
So you've been taking the kids out? Or?
No. The kids went to Bali.
And he didn't go with them?
He didn't go. He couldn't get holidays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He didn't give himself holidays. But so he's been at home on his own, the chief.
Yeah, watching videos or?
I don't know what he's been doing. But I mentioned in the lead up to the show that he had a new passion. Since Jane's been gone, he has discovered that he thinks that he's really good at this new hobby.
What is it?
He thinks he's a chef now.
Oh, so has he been watching MasterChef or something?
Yeah, he's been watching MasterChef, and he's now rating himself alongside these sort of people: Marco Pierre White, Gabriel Gade, Shannon Bennett from Vue de Monde, Jacques Raymond, George Calambaris, Anthony Bourdain, Curtis Stone, Gordon Ramsay, Nigella Lawson, Ian Hewitson,
Huey.
And Richmond man, Adam De Silva.
Gabriel Gatto's a Richmond
The Chiefs now looking up to these sort of people.
What, thinking he's a Michelin 4-star?
Yeah, he thinks
4-star.
Chef. 3-star?
3.
You can't get
4?
Well,
4, he could probably
Chief
get 4.
would think he's 4. So
of course he would.
I found out about this because I went into his office last week and said, "How you going?" And he said, "Mate, come over here. You've got to have a look at this." And he had his phone. Yeah. And I thought he was maybe going to show me an email from Michael Hurley just saying that he's going to come to Richmond or
John Patton.
Or Johnny Patton.
Yeah.
You know.
How's he going?
I watched him on the weekend.
He moves
a bit like Wilt Chamberlain, John Patton. But anyway, I've got over to his phone. I've got over to his phone and I've looked at it.
Yeah.
And it's a picture of the dinner that he'd cooked for himself the night before.
Oh, what would it have been? It must have been a pretty elaborate sort of a meal.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
What, truffles?
No, so a bit of steamed broccoli, pretty hard to muck up a bit of steamed broccoli.
4 minutes in the microwave.
A bit of sautéed mushrooms with a bit of butter on.
Probably out of a tin.
Now, even I can do that.
Yeah.
And the Scotch fillet steak.
A steak.
You know, nice bit of marbling through it.
You can't really muck that up, can you?
The way that you can't muck that up.
You can't. You can't overcook it.
The way that he showed me the picture, you would have thought that he had created some new dish that no one had ever seen.
He might as well have shown you some Vegemite on toast.
Pretty much that's what it is.
Yeah.
So a bit of steak with broccoli and a bit of mushroom sauté. Come on, Chief. You're not in the standard of Ramsay and Colin Barris and these types. So anyway, he got ahead of himself and whipped up some food for the office here and brought it in, a little stir-fry number.
Yeah.
And 8 staff members have gone down with food poisoning. So, Chief, it's time to put the tongs away, mate.
At least he didn't go with his chicken tartare recipe.
You know what? I lived with a bloke once, Ben Harrison, who went to make fried rice for us one night, and he just put the raw rice straight into the fry pan and wondered why it wasn't working.
Well, I've got a confession to make. I'm not a bad cook now, and I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But when I started off, when I moved out on my own, I was about 29, to be honest.
Yeah.
I got my own little unit, right? And I cooked a roast for the first time. Actually, no, I was living with my sister.
Yeah.
She came, I was cooking a roast. I thought, I'll do a roast tonight. Yeah. It was taking forever, you know? It took hours. And she came home, she goes, might help if you close the lid.
Oh, no.
The oven door was open.
Oh, no.
Doesn't really work that well with the oven door open.
So, Chief, he thinks he's a chef now.
Wow.
There we go.
Yeah, he'll get his own cooking show, I reckon.
Oh! Whoa! So on the back of your groundbreaking announcement
I'm still recovering from Kung Fu Panda 3 being shown pre-game.
It's going to be hard to live up for that.
Went well?
I'm not too sure. I was trying to watch the players warm up in the dark, so
I reckon they would have been watching it. I reckon they would have.
So what do you got this week for us?
They might have put that on because they knew that we had a lot of kids in the side. That's why they played Kung Fu Panda 3.
Actually, speaking of Chief Watch, he'd be a bit flat this week that the Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden, is coming out.
Yeah.
He's coming to the MCG to watch a game of football.
He's not going to
Richmond are playing Essendon at the MCG. He's going the next day to see Carlton.
Chief will
try.
He will call Obama.
Chief will get
He will call Obama and he'll get that sorted out.
All right, club news.
What do you got?
Today's the last chance you can win Dustin Martin.
Winning?
You know old Dustin Martin. A signed multicultural round warm-up top that Dusty wore
Saturday night.
Last Saturday night.
Okay,
signed by Dusty. It's the only way you can get one of these tops as well.
Okay.
So visit richmondfc.com.au/warmup, enter in your details, and you're going to the chance to win it, which will be drawn tomorrow.
Huge. Yeah. Well, that's priceless, that.
Not much club news this week, but I've got a rare concept for you.
Yes.
How about this?
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Bright, sunny, perfect winter day. MCG.
Yeah.
Richmond taking on Essendon. Two young teams playing football.
With a red ball.
Red ball. Get on down to the football.
That is awesome. That is an unusual concept. Isn't it?
That
is a very rare concept.
It's just going from strength to strength, this club news, isn't it?
So just get on down to watch the two teams. And speaking of Richmond and Essendon,
yes,
2 words that would strike fear in any Essendon supporters' makeup.
No, what?
Scotty Turner.
Scotty Turner, of course.
I love Scotty.
Scotty's the homecoming hero this week.
That's great. I love Scotty Turner.
So Scotty,
he might just run through them, I reckon. He might just hip and shoulder all of them.
Lights out for a few bombers.
Yeah. Get Gary O'Donnell.
It had to be against Essendon.
It had to be.
Well, that's why we organised it.
Exactly right.
Yes.
Got a bit of medical news as well.
Yeah, well, that's
mate, while you're on a roll, just keep going.
Yeah, well,
I reckon we should keep the sting going just through your injury update as well.
Well, club news didn't reach great heights just then, and the injury list.
It's fair to say.
Thankfully, the injury list is similar.
We don't want them medical.
Exactly right.
We don't.
So there's not much to report on at all, which is great.
Yeah.
Sean Grigg, who missed out last week with injury, he's up for a test this week. So
Basher with his wristy.
Basher's wrist is getting a bit closer, 1 to 2 weeks away now, and Corey Ellis is he's not making much progress, but nothing to fear there.
What's he got? A groin injury?
A sore groin. So They don't want to push him too hard where he's at the moment.
He just needs another big pre-season under his
belt. Yeah, right. He's shown enough to suggest that he's going to be a very good player.
And Camden's the other one with his ankle, so I doubt he'll get back. So hopefully Grigor can get through his fitness test.
We sort of forgot about Camden being out, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, you look at all those guys who are out, Yaron, Morris, McIntosh.
Sorry, what did you say about Yaron? Sorry, I missed that. Did you mention him?
I didn't mention Chris.
So we're still he's
back.
On it.
He's back at the club.
And he's training
now.
well.
He's out. He was out training today, but he's doing his own program, so he's not amongst
it'll be a bonus if you saw anything from him this year.
But Yaron, Morris, McIntosh, Alice, Hooley, all injured, all play similar parts of the ground.
Bit of run and carry.
Yeah, good point.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I reckon I've got a fair idea what you're mad about.
I'm filthy about something that's happening in our game.
I agree
now,
with
people mightn't agree with me, Mark Robinson and these type of people, but my understanding was that when you took possession of the ball, if you had no opportunity to dispose of it and were tackled, that it should be balled up.
Yep.
That's gone. Players have no prior opportunity anymore, and I'm not just talking and being sour about the Reece Conker decision, because I was at the Crows-Carlton game on Sunday, and there were a couple in the Crows-Carlton game that were harsher than the Reece Conker one. Now, I know they paid it because they said he didn't try and get rid of the ball.
What are you supposed to do?
So what you're supposed to do is just flay your arms around, wriggle.
So act.
And make it look like...
So basically act.
Basically act. Just blow the whistle and ball it up.
Surely if you just blow the whistle and ball it up, it would be quicker than waiting 20 seconds for them to try and put on an acting
just think it's a stupid
exhibition.
Well, the one with Conker, it should have been a ball up before it was ever holding the ball.
Once you clasp a clamp like that, that's it. Ball it up.
So it doesn't encourage players to win the ball. In fact, you're better off just tapping it or kicking it off the ground now instead of reaching over and picking it up if you're hot. Anyway, I don't like it. Some may agree, some may not.
It's just not a good look.
There's no opportunity anymore.
Not a good look for the game.
But I won't go on anymore because big Manfred Brenton man has just wandered in. It's time for the VFL Report.
She sits in some club where the long shadows fall. Drop a coin in the jukebox, not the phone on the wall. So close.
Yes, it's time for the VFL Report, and we welcome into the studio Manfred. Manfred, just be careful of Greeners today. He's a little bit mischievous today.
He's in a bit of a funny mood, isn't he?
He is in a funny mood.
What was that song?
What did you put on your Wheat Bix this morning?
No, the gluten-free Wheat Bix. What was the song?
That's So Close by Hall & Oates, Tone.
Oh, that wasn't a medley of their greatest hit, was it?
No.
Okay.
Big power ballad. Little segue into the VFL.
Yes, it was a
close.
segue. Was it very close? It was a 9-point loss, unfortunately, to Footscray. And the song is for So Close because we were 8 points up at three-quarter time, and Lachlan Dalglish kicked the final 3 goals of the game to give Footscray a 9-point win.
A little bit like the AFL game.
It was nearly an exact image, a mirror image of the VFL game.
A Dalglish hat-trick.
It was a Dalglish hat-trick.
For the Liverpool fans out there.
Anyway. Very good.
Very nice.
Very
JB,
good,
very
JB.
nice.
Working beautifully,
But it was a funny game. It was a game of turnovers. So it was a game that neither side could get any flow or run and carry through the midfield. So it was, they kicked 9 goals, 3 from our turnovers, which was disappointing. And we didn't take our chances early in front of goal and convert our early dominance. And unfortunately, Footscray just ran over the top of us.
Now, what about some of the AFL listed players that might have gone all right on the day?
With the realigning of the AFL side to the more youth-based, and I've got a little list of AFL possibles here.
A few others that are under the iceberg.
Yeah, under the iceberg. Under the iceberg. They might surface in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
We've got Adam Marco, and he had probably his best game for the year, had 35 disposals. And
he's consistent, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very consistent. He just does it every week, and he's playing off a wing, so he had 35 disposals, 15 in the first quarter.
Wow.
And kicked a goal. He was really impressive.
He would have loved being back with his good mate, Kane Lambert.
Yes, Kane Lambert, and who was very impressive as well. He had 32 touches, kicked a goal. He had 10 clearances and 5 centre clearances.
Yeah,
and he was very good early, but maybe just tapered out a little bit towards the end of the game. But he played a level above at VFL level.
Okay.
Also, Andrew Moore was solid without being fantastic. Just another solid game from him. Ben Lennon was really good for mine.
Was he?
23 disposals, but he was chopped around. He played mid, back and forward, but took really good courageous marks. It takes courage to go back with the flight, Tone. I don't know if you bench it back where Angels dare to tread. Went back in your day.
That's a whole different story.
But he was fantastic. He had 14 contested possessions as well. And Dan Butler. Sorry,
leave any for us.
Sorry, JB.
Striking him off the list.
He's a professional, Manfred.
Just wind him up and let him go.
Yeah. You want to go?
I believe JB? Dan Butler had a good game.
Oh, very good, JB.
Yeah. How did Butler go?
Played his best game for the year, Tone. Had 19 touches as a small forward, 5 tackles and 7 inside 50s, but just didn't take his chances in front of goal.
What about Ty Vickery? A lot of talk about him, obviously. How did he go?
He was, I guess, solid. He was 17 touches, 6 marks, 3 tackles, but kicked 0 goals too. Probably didn't take his chances in front of goal when they presented. Again, started well early, but tapered off, as did Jake Batchelor.
Okay, what about Marbior?
Marbior was good again. Really, he's teaming well with Troy Chaplin down there. He was probably one of our best. He kept Tom Boyd to 1 goal, which he got from a free kick, and just a level-head, experienced leadership down back. And Marbior is learning every week. I mean, I don't know if we're going to see him this year, but he's definitely a prospect for the future.
Yeah, and Callum Moore, sorry. One more.
Similar to Marbior, he was... you're not leaving any for JB.
Sorry, JB.
One more.
Yeah. Callum Moore just played to his strengths. He was solid in the air without being fantastic, but another solid performance for him.
Now, I'm just looking over at JB. He's got one more name on
the
So let him ask. Let JB ask.
Hey, some of the tough stuff. 8 tackles, 2 goals. Jacob Townsend, how did he go?
Played predominant forward and 11 touches, as you said, 2 goals for Jacob and 8 tackles in the forward half, which is fantastic. But Fly's looking for him to have more influence as an inside mid.
Yeah.
So that's something he needs to improve on, I guess, to get an AFL opportunity once again.
And what's the go this week then?
We've got a bye this week. Was 3 byes for the VFL during the year.
Too many byes.
Way too many byes. Way too many byes. So
someone like Ben Lennon, it's a terrible time for
you need to play, don't you?
I was going to say, put your selector's hat on, or we won't hold you to this, but the next one from under the iceberg to come up, who would it be?
Well, I think Ben Lennon isn't under the iceberg. I think he's... But I think...
true.
I think Dan Butler, with his speed, he's got elite speed and he's tough and tenacious around the contest, but he needs to string probably 2 or 3 more performances together.
You would like to see Lennon in to play 4 or 5
Oh, no, he's AFL standard. He does need to play. I think he just needs to play football and find a spot.
I'm just checking. I don't think it's on JB's list, but Nathan Drummond.
It was good again. Probably the...
We're back on. Yes, there we go. We've had some gremlins in the system again. Scones working feverishly over there to fix it up.
I think we missed Brenton's Vaffa plugs.
Did we?
But that's all right.
That doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
Hey, all right. The Port Adelaide game I've got written here, but it wasn't Port Adelaide.
Get it right.
It was the Western Bulldogs.
What are you doing?
I didn't. That's last week's rundown, and I didn't change.
Okay, fair enough.
I didn't change.
You do work feverishly when you come in here, and you tell everyone about how hard you are working.
I put the rundown together while you sit around clowning around, distracting me, and that's why I didn't get that.
Sorry, I'm trying to bring a bit of brightness into your life, but that's what I cop for it.
What'd you make of it? The game?
Kids were good.
Yeah.
Haven't we spoken about the kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they were. No. It was a game. It was probably one that got away. Really, it took probably one that got away.
It took Bontempelli and Stringer to have a big influence in the last quarter.
And Wood.
And Easton Wood down back was outstanding, but it took probably nearly their 3 best players
it did.
to get them across the line. When it did open up at about the 15-minute mark of last quarter, the game did open up a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's when they got on top of us. They probably just had that little bit more.
Yeah, look, obviously we've spoken about the Conker free kick, and there was obviously then the 50-metre penalty, and then there's a couple of things, a couple of things that went against us.
We had our chances when we went inside 50.
And there's a couple of kicks that weren't great inside 50, obviously too.
Easton Wood, as I said, was outstanding.
Yeah. So we probably needed to lower our eyes a bit, I guess, rather than trying to bomb it in. And
season high tackles and pressure acts, and
I
think
really impressive.
And that should be the benchmark now.
Yeah, it has to be
moving forward for the rest of the season.
No, it has to be. And Sean Hampson was very good again, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good with his hit outs and a couple of good marks.
He gives us a real. Well, I think we won the centre clearances 12-8. He gives us some really clean.
But he started to take some marks, good marks, some really good strong marks around the ground too. Yeah. So I think he just get better and better as he gets more confidence with in his body and the continuity of football. Yeah. I think he will get better too. So
a lot to like. We didn't win the game, but there were some positives. What you? The votes are going to be pretty obvious again, I think, this week.
JB, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I don't think much has changed over the last few weeks with who's getting the 3. Although actually against Port Adelaide, it changed up a bit, but. 3 votes for Dustin Martin. No surprises there. 38 touches. Unbelievable effort.
Which is an equal career high.
Yep.
He's never had 40, Dusty.
No, not yet. No, that's coming.
It should be. So 3 votes for Dusty. 2 votes for the captain, Trent Cotchin, for me. I think he was very good on the night. I think the Bulldogs put a lot of work into him, but he just kept working at it, and a nice long goal from outside. It was just on 50 in the first quarter, which was great. And I might have been watching the game with the rose-coloured glasses, or I spent a lot of time focusing in on the young kids on Saturday night. That's one of the things that I went to watch. So I gave one vote to the debutant, Oleg Markov. I just think he only played about 3/4 of game time, and he had 18 touches, used the ball in the mid-80s. Efficiency, and I just thought he took the game on, linked up well, used the ball well, and it wasn't overawed. So one vote for him. For me.
Fair enough. I was Dustin as well. We've spoken about him every week. He was outstanding. I gave 2 to Trent as well. He was a very good player. But I gave 1 vote to Shane Edwards, though. He did some really good things.
His last quarter, he had an absolute purple patch for about 5 minutes.
Set up Jack, kicked a couple himself. So I thought I'd slip Shane in for the 1 this week.
All right, 3 to Dusty for all the reasons that we've mentioned. 2 to Trent Cotchin. There's no doubt about him. It just shows great character. He was quiet the previous week, and you can almost back him in. He was going to have a big one. And I go 1 to Dave Asprey because I think he's in career best form. He took a career high 12 marks after career high disposals the previous week. He's just reading it very, very well. A lot of intercepts. A lot of really, really good interceptions.
He looks like he's moving better.
Yeah,
I think he's got some real confidence in his body now. We know he's had a lot of injuries over the years, but
he's a pretty important player when he's playing like that. There's no doubt.
So the leaderboard, Dustin is just charging away with it now. He's on 71 votes. Koch is second on 46. Rancy third on 31, Jack at 27, and Griggy rounds out the top 5 on 20 votes.
Look at your head just swelling. Look at your head. If your bont's got any bigger, we'd have to obviously just get rid of the walls and
it's about to,
I assume you're talking to Matthew.
No, not you, JJ. Of course I'm talking to the
It's about to get even bigger.
Oh, of course.
Because have a listen to last week. But anyway, this week I'm going with Shane Edwards. I think at Etihad he'll have 20 plus disposals and kick a couple of goals.
All right, this week who we've spoken about, who Manfred spoke about in the VFL report, Jason Costanza. He will. I'm not a selector, obviously, but I'd be staggered if he wasn't in the senior lineup. And I think he will have an impact coming back in.
All right, beautiful.
No layers.
No way. Just come in and have a I'm not saying he's going to win a Rising Star nomination, but it'd be great if he did.
Just the fact that you're predicting he'll play.
He will come in and he'll not just play, but he will play well.
All right.
He'll show some really good signs.
I like it.
My head might be a bit bigger than yours, actually. Yeah.
So,
what did you go with? What did you go with?
But you're tipping into it too.
I'm pumping him up as well.
Correct.
Tone, we are just nailing this. Josh, you've lost your way with the yellow and black.
Oh, that's fair.
You have lost your way. You're trying to get too
smart.
I'm
not sure I ever had the way, but
you know we're going to have to change this up a little bit when we go to Rio. It'll have to be like a green and gold.
Oh, right.
Green and gold book special.
Yeah, that's all right.
Don't you think?
So we might let you go first, JB, and see if you can.
Do you want some help? Do you want us to give you a bit of help with it?
No, look, I'm having a crack. And look, last week I went Connor Menadue on his Etihad debut. I said he'd kick 3 goals. I thought he was pretty good. And especially early, he set up a few chances inside 50.
But he didn't kick 3 goals.
But he didn't kick the 3 goals, so I got to wear that. So it's probably a strike-off for me this week against Essendon. I've gone with Brandon Ellis. He averages more possessions against Essendon than any other team he's faced against, around the 27 disposal mark.
So what are you saying?
So I reckon he's going to get 30-plus touches. And I think he's going to kick multiple goals.
He's layered.
And it'll be the first time he's kicked multiple goals since round 10, 2014.
He does his homework, doesn't he?
But I never get him right.
So. No, that's right.
So as I pumped myself up before, I said Shane Edwards 20 and 2 goals. He actually had 18, so I didn't quite get it right, but he did get 2 goals.
Is that why you gave him a vote? Just to further emphasise how well you'd gone
exactly.
with okay.
But
in the game, he didn't kick a goal, but he certainly
kicked plenty after that.
Kicked on from there, ending up with 970 goals in 294 games, 100 goals. First and one of only 2 Richmond players to kick 100 goals in a season.
Him and Disco.
Which he did in 1940.
He
Disco
then kicked
did it
a heap of goals at Coburg after he left here, didn't he?
Yep. But to give you an idea of just how... Now, just have a listen to this, right? This is how tall he was, okay? So he's 175 centimetres tall, weighed 66 kilos, right? Give you an idea of that. Jaden Short, who's the smallest player on our list, is 177 centimetres. So Jaden Short is 2 centimetres taller than what Jack Skinny Titus was. And Daniel Rioli is the lightest player on our list at 65 kilos. In fact, he's probably slightly heavier now because that was at the start of the year. And Skinny Titus played at 66 kilos and played full forward.
Jeez, he must have been strong,
he's
wiry.
Freak of a player. Absolute freak of a player. Yeah, brilliant. And also, just quickly, Saturday is 60 years to the day. It was round 13, 1956, at one of the more bizarre Richmond games that we've ever played. Okay, so it was a game against Hawthorn at Glenferrie Oval.
What happened?
The ground was the middle of the ground was an absolute quagmire, as it frequently was at Glenferrie Oval. Okay, scores at half time in that game were Hawthorn 1-8, Richmond 4 behinds. Right, hadn't kicked a goal, didn't score in the first quarter. 4 behinds at half time. We ended up winning the game by 23 points, 8-6-54 to 3-13-31. Ray Poulter kicked 4 goals, and Ronnie Branton was the best player, kicked 2 goals. But it was just interesting that the fact that you could have a game like that, you didn't kick a goal in the first half at all, and then end up winning by 4 goals. And some interesting Richmond players that day: Team of the Century member Des Rowe, Hall of Famer Havel Rowe, Ray Alsop, who was the first full-time administrator in the VFL, bloke who developed Vic Kick, which then became Auskick. And Alan Cook, who was a former chairman selectors and life member here. And anyway, so a bit of interesting stuff there.
Not bad titties.
Yeah, good. JB, you got a gag?
No, I don't actually. It's another great sting. I just got an email in during the show by Joe Tomasi.
Yeah. Joe Tomasi.
He wanted to know whether we picked up whether Dimmer referred to Georgie Castagna as Costanza in the post-game presser.
You bet, baby.
And then,
baby.
Did he call him Costanza?
Costanza.
Yeah.
Apparently Trent Cotchin thought his name was George.
He didn't know. He didn't know his name was George.
And then he wants to know...
Jason. He thought it was George,
He wants to know how the last name is pronounced, because on Channel 7 they were referring to him as Castagna.
No, I think the G is silent.
I'm pretty sure.
The G is silent.
And Joe from an Italian background wants to know... He said it was frustrating.
Yeah.
Because he believes, as do I, that it's Castagna.
Yeah,
Castagna.
Certainly the G is silent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Good. Thanks for that email.
Now I'm due a laugh now.
Yeah. Gee,
well, don't rely on these.
I hope you've ticked these off, because you're in one of those moods. You are.
A little bit of a silly mood. Yeah. The other day I tied my head to my dog's tail. Yeah, I just
Why would you do that?
Well, I just felt like a bit of a chin wag. I went to the doctor's the other day. Yeah. I said I've got
go a lot.
I know. I said I've got a rash.
Yeah.
He said I'll be as quick as I can. I
was worried when you said
the cold. You're unbelievable. You know the cold weather, you love soup, right?
Yeah,
this
I just had some.
You did. You had some. Yep. Yeah. Well, I had 4 bowls the other night of this delicious alphabet soup.
Yeah.
Yeah. But after that, I had a massive vowel movement.
You've been pretty good today.
Well, don't rely on the rest of them.
What do you got?
What's green
and
sits crying in the corner?
What?
The Incredible Sulk.
No, gosh. It's good, Scones. I'm glad you didn't laugh at
And I went to the optometrist recently, as well as the doctor, you know. Yeah, just got my check.
Health insurance.
I do, yeah. But I was diagnosed with colour blindness.
Right.
Yeah, it just came out of the green.
One more, mate.
One more?
Finish on a good note.
A mate of mine. Yeah.
You got mates?
Well, not really. Not really. A mate of mine has just sued an airline company after it lost his luggage.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately, he lost his case.
Oh, no. All right. There we go. Thanks for that, Tone.
No worries.
And this, we're going to go out with a bit more John Bon Jovi.
Very
Blaze
good.
of Glory in honour of our young guns that played on Saturday night. Thanks for listening again today. Tune in again next Tuesday at 12 o'clock. And go Tigers against the Bombers this Saturday.
Tigers.
See you guys, girls, see you everyone.